of the world, my friends.
Save as many as you can.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
And there's another thing. I was working on a video earlier that talks about, very important that everybody really latches hold of this, because it's Psalm 74 verse 4, and it's an unbelievable little nugget that you need to latch onto, because you know when Jesus says that men's hearts are going to fail them for fear for things that are coming up. Well, Psalm 74:4, it says this very interesting thing. It says, "Your adversaries have roared in the midst of your appointments. They have set up their own signs as signs." And the King James reads it like this. Go see it yourself. When I do this and I fumble through to find it, you should go too. You should go look at this stuff yourself. Don't believe what I say. Go pray on it and read it for yourself, right? But Psalm 74 verse 4 in the King James says, "Thine enemies roar in the midst of thy congregations. They set up their ensigns for signs." Right? So there's going to be this, like I told you the other day in Psalms 82, this congregation of El, right? There's going to be a congregation. So just imagine that during this congregation that happens, the enemy sets up his own signs for ensigns. Thine enemies roar in the midst of your appointment of thy congregations. They set up their ensigns for signs. So check this out. You'll find that word is moed, right? So Psalm 74:4. By the way, if you guys don't have eSword for your phone or for your tablet or for your computer, it's indispensable. So Psalm 74:4, right? The word for congregations is moed. It's moed. It's Hebrew 4150. It's moed. And it says here in Strong's, it's an appointment that is a fixed time or season, specifically a festival. Ooh, conventionally, a year. By implication, an assembly. Okay? So like I said, there's going to be this assembly, this gathering together, the gathering of the saints.
Gather my saints together to me.
There's going to be this assembly, this gathering together, the gathering of the saints. There's a purpose for gathering of the saints. Paul says that we're going to judge the angels. Well, when does that happen? It's at this congregation, right? So if you look at Psalms 82, it talks about the congregation. I'll go to it right here. I love this stuff. It's all knit together so perfectly. It's unbelievable, right? So here's what happens. This nation, the time of the nations being fulfilled and all that stuff, that's what this is, right? That number is going to be filled. I think it's going to be a perfect number of the amount of angels, the third of the host of heaven that's going to fall. So essentially, like how I see things, and listen, I reserve the right to be wrong. I reserve the right to be wrong. I don't know everything. I just study a lot. I read a lot. And I ask him to show me stuff a lot. I should ask him to show me more. Father, forgive me for not asking to show me stuff more. Father, I pray for more wisdom when it comes to this stuff. But Psalms 82, listen. It says, Elohim stands in the congregation of El. Elohim stands in the congregation of El. Wow. Elohim stands in the congregation of El. So there's going to be a congregation of El. So literally, Lightning shines from east to the west, right? That's what's going to happen. There's going to be this unbelievable event where Psalms 50, he's going to gather his saints together to him. Why? To rightly rule his people. Well, what does that mean? Think about this. Psalms 82, ready? That congregation of El. It's very important that you understand this, right? So check it out. It says, Elohim stands in the congregation of El. He judges in the midst of the Elohim. What? He judges in the midst of the Elohim. So isn't that the judgment of the Elohim? How long would you judge perversely and show partiality to the wrong? He's asking a specific question or making a charge, right? And then it says Salah. So there's a break there, right? So seemingly in the very next verse Psalms 82, verse 3, it says, give right ruling to the poor and fatherless. He's definitely giving a set of charges to a different set, right? That time frame where he asks, like, hey, how long are you going to neglect them, right? Judging perversely and showing partiality to the wrong. Doesn't it seem like that's what's going on right now? So I think at this certain point, and then you read Psalms 82 more, he says, rescue the poor and needy, deliver them from the hand of the wrong. So okay, so imagine this. There's this congregation of El. Essentially, those messengers, those Elohim who were judging perversely and showing impartiality or showing partiality to the wrong, they get fired essentially. Listen, so ready, Revelation 12, the woman gives birth, the body goes to be with the head. All of a sudden, judgment happens in the heavens. The whole earth sees this, right? Sun goes dark, moon goes dark, then the stars fall from heaven. Those stars falling from heaven, it shows you, that's Revelation 12, where Michael, with a bunch of Elohim, suddenly with a bunch of messengers or angels or whatever you want to call them, battles and then casts them down. What? That's right. It's all tying together. You can see it, overlaying itself time and time again. There's going to be this unbelievable event. The gathering of the saints is going to happen. Those angels are going to get cast down. The time of Jacob's trouble where they realize, because listen, okay, I love this stuff. There's so much to it, but I love it. Okay, so hold on. So today, like I said, Psalms 1, this all got started because of Psalms 141 and then Psalms 1. So we went through Psalms 141. Now let's get to let the wrong fall into their own nets while I pass by. Now Psalms 142, it says, I cry out to Yahuwah with my voice. I pray to Yahuwah with my voice. I pour out my complaint before him. I declare before him my distress. When my spirit grew faint within me, then you know my path. In the way in which I walk, they have hidden a trap for me. Look to the right hand to see, and no one is concerned for me. No refuge remains to me. No one inquires after my being. I cried out to you, O Yahuwah. I said, you are my refuge, my portion in the land of the living. Listen to my cry, for I am brought very low. Deliver me from my persecutors, for they are too strong for me. Bring my being out of prison to give thanks to your name. Let the righteous gather around me, because you deal kindly with me. Okay, so ready? Psalms 50 happens. The saints are gathered. There's literally a chorus in heaven. It's a celebration. The heavens are going to declare his righteousness. The whole earth is going to see this. Israel is going to literally have the scales fall from their eyes. The last are going to go first. Thus, the first will go last. They'll realize, oh my goodness, our fathers lied to us. They hid this from us. They knew. They told us Yeshua was this evil dude. And the scales are going to fall off. Because listen, when the angels are buzzing around in the heaven, bebopping, declaring his righteousness, when we go up and declare his righteousness and the whole world sees that, they're going to know. All your friends that you told about Yeshua or about Jesus, they're going to know. It's not going to be a secret. That's why Psalms 2 says very simply, Why do the nations rage and the peoples meditate emptiness? And the sovereigns of the earth take their stand, and the rulers take counsel together against Yahuwah and against his Messiah. How do they know that? And against Yahuwah and against his Messiah, and say, let us tear apart their bonds and throw away their ropes from us. Do you understand? That's going to be the persecution of the woman. And listen, I want you to think about this. When Israel's scales fall off and they realize and they see that, all this stuff happening in the heavens, and they hear it, and it's like they're freaked out and everything's going on, and then the angels get cast down and they're being persecuted. That's what this is talking about. It all is talking about this one event. Right? So there's going to be people who aren't ready, right? The virgins who aren't ready type of a thing. And they're going to be, think about all your friends that you've told about this that were like, right? I want you to think about this. I've told so many people throughout my life, they're like, you've been saying this forever. Since high school, before that, junior high, I've always been fascinated with this stuff. I've had my ebb and flow where I've been really into it and then I've been not into it, falling into the world, backsliding, whatever. Listen, I'm a sinner saved by much. Believe me, I partied like a rock star. But I think about all the people that are going to literally, when this happens, they're going to go, oh, he talked about that. JD talked about that. JD talked about that. Like, and what did he say? What did he say? What did he say? One thing I've tried to, expound upon and really help them to understand, even if they don't want to believe it, that when you see this going up, listen, his heart is that none should perish. Call upon his name. Call upon his name. In spirit and in truth, call upon his name. So when this crazy event happens, and now think about this. It says that Psalm 74:4, it says that the enemy is going to throw up his signs during these appointments. So think of how crazy that's going to be, that the Father's gathering of his saints happens. It says that that's going to take place from the rising of the sun to its going down, Psalms 50, right? From the rising of the sun to its going down, he's going to call from above to the heavens and to the earth to rightly rule his people. So that's going to happen. That's going to happen from the rising of the sun to its going down. So when that happens, he's going to pop his face through and look, and we're all going to see. It's going to be unbelievable. Unbelievable. Then the enemy's going to throw up his signs, right? Psalm 74, it says, the enemy, your adversaries, have roared in the midst of your appointments. They have set up their own signs as signs. Think about that. What? Now let's go back. Let's read all of Psalm 74. Or at least part of it, and put that in context, because you'll see how it overlays. It says, O Elohim, why do you forever reject us? Why does your displeasure smoke against the sheep of your pasture? Remember your congregation you did purchase of old, the tribe of your inheritance you did redeem, this mountain where you have dwelt. Think about this. Remember we talked about it, the tribes going up. So the tribes going up, where? Said to Jerusalem, but like the spiritual Jerusalem, Zion, Mount Zion, the tribe of your inheritance you did redeem. This Mount Zion where you have dwelt. What? Mount Zion where he's dwelt. Does he live in you? Do you have the Holy Spirit in you? Lift up your steps to the endless ruins. The enemy has done all evil in the set apart place. Oh. Your adversaries have roared in the midst of your appointments. They have set up their own signs as signs. Doesn't that sound like the Jerusalem being trodden under for 40 and 2 months or whatever that is? What? Doesn't that sound familiar? Goes on to say, it seems as if one had lifted up axes among the thick trees, and now all its carved work they have broken down with axe and hammer. They have set fire to your set apart place. Now people will say, well, that happened in 70 AD. Okay, so what? There's a foreshadowing happening here, right? There's dual fulfillment happening here. they're gonna trot in Jerusalem under for 40 and 2 months. Right? Anyway, when it talks about men's hearts failing them for fear, think about that when his adversaries roar in the midst of his appointments. Wow. Thine enemies roar in the midst of thy congregation. So think about that. When the rapture or the gathering of the saints happens for judgment, right, for the right ruling of his people, which is Israel, right? Because there is a timeline that has to happen. Ask yourself this question. Paul talks about provoking Israel to jealousy, or the Jews to jealousy. Do you think Israel and the Jews are jealous of the Christian church? I don't think so. I don't think so. But when they realize, whoa, all this supernatural stuff starts happening, I think that at that point, they might be a little jealous, right? The first go last, the last go first. Think about that, right? Israel today, Jacob today, who still denies the Messiah, if you ever talk, they truly do reject him still to this day. Not all of them. There's definitely people who believe in Yeshua, who are Jews, who is Israel, who have, the Messianics, right, who have accepted him. And they're not part of that, right? Because they're literally, listen, we're grafted into Jesus, into Yeshua. Jesus isn't grafted into Israel. Israel's grafted into Jesus. He's the true vine. Anyway, I could go on and on and on and on. I already have, and this video is going to get, could just go on and on and on. So anyway, blessed day ever. I had to get that to you today. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Bless you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends about this. If you're getting blessed by this, tell your friends. Bless you guys. Spread the word. Like, share, and subscribe. Spread the word. Tell your friends. It's about spreading the message, right? That's what we're commissioned to do. Bless you. Time is short.
Clock's ticking.
This is going to be exciting. There's going to be an event. It's going to be unlike any event we've ever seen. He's going to call from above to the heavens to gather his saints. We're not going to miss that.
There's just one name that can keep you out of hell, and it's the name of Jesus.